Every fall, thousands of elementary students learn a little more about Minnesota's history. Not in a classroom, but out here at the Wargo Nature Center. I'm Dan Carpenter, and today we go up close with the pioneers of Minnesota Heritage Lab. More than 160 years ago, household chores were more hands-on.
Yeah, I'd rather the washing machine.
I don't know even how to hang it.
These children are learning that early settlers to Minnesota led very busy lives.
So I want you to think of those chores that you do today, and we're going to compare to some of the things that had to be done back in 1858.
For 4 weeks in the fall, the Rice Creek chain of lakes parks becomes an outdoor, immersive classroom.
Yay, this works!
These pioneers and settlers for a day will learn more about everyday life around the year Minnesota became a state by visiting 7 different stations.
There's a new topic at each one related to the theme for the year. So the kids get to be interactive, there's activities with what they're doing and learning about cool, unique things related to this place here in Minnesota and the history of the people here.
If you only brought 2 things, I would bring this pot, a Dutch oven, and some kind of knife.
11-year-old Monica Weber is learning what early settlers ate and how food was made.
Cheese and butter?
Cheese and butter. If you had cream and a spoon with a hole in it or some other kind of arrangement, just kind of do this for a couple hours and eventually you'd have butter from that cream.
It wasn't like going to the grocery store.
You had to go make it or kill something to eat it.
The landscape, tools, and clothing used at these teaching stations are carefully researched to provide an authentic experience.
We work with Historical Society and other groups. We usually take a staff field trip during the summer to make sure, we're up on our history and using best practices.
Bread, 3 times a day, just like us. People love bread.
I kind of wish I was back then, and I kind of wish now, because now it's fun, but I think it would be kind of fun to just go into the wild and just survive.
1 through 15 over here, 16 through 30 out here, 16 through 30.
But life back then wasn't only about survival.
Run, 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 run!
A game called Rounders, brought to Minnesota with early immigrants, would eventually become the game we know as baseball today.
Rounders came from England and people played it in different towns. One town would play the game a certain way, and then the next town over, they would play it a little different. So we eventually got a name of what we call town ball because all these different towns play differently.
Heritage Lab has evolved over the years as well. Since its inception in 1993, more facilities have been added.
We'll use it as a teaching station, so there are doorways on 3 sides that open up so we can utilize it as a cabin type structure.
But a rustic feel has been maintained.
Part of the reason it's still here and is still so popular is it's a great opportunity for students to get out of the classroom, get outdoors and be active and really practice living in history.
Students from Anoka County, Forest Lake, and Elk River school districts and homeschool families sign up for Heritage Lab in the spring. The cost is $5 for each young pioneer, with a grant from Connexus Energy covering the rest.
It gives students that chance to have sort of that more authentic experience for what it's like and understand, our ancestors or other people who are living here, what they went through and how that shaped our history. And also because most of us are coming from Wargo Nature Center, we have that environmental focus. We like to focus on how people interacted with the land, and I think a lot of those ideas for how people did historically really ties into how we do today still.
See if you recognize this noise.
Really cool. It sounds Australian.
So the jaw harp, believe it or not, is one of the oldest instruments in the world. It has been dated back to the year 300 BC.
These lessons are more than informative. They're engaging.
Start with the basic rhythm.
I think history is really fun and exciting, and to see what people did back when.
Oh, I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee.
And they get really into it. We want them to learn, but we also want them to have a great time doing it.
Oh, Susanna, why don't you cry for me?
Heritage Lab will be back again next fall with a new theme, but all winter long you'll find wildlife programs and fun ways to explore the outdoors. I'm Dan Carpenter, bringing you up close to art, history, and culture.